Talking alongside Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz took on the United States and told them don't treat EU worse than Mexico and Canada over subsidies. Both the leaders, Meloni and Scholz, agreed that they do not want to get into a global subsidy race.
I think we all agree that we don't want to get into a global subsidy race. That would be terrible. Not that many could keep up there. Some countries might, but that would not be the goal of things. That is why we all are very much in favor, for example, of reaching an understanding with the US on the Inflation Reduction Act, so that European countries are not put at a competitive disadvantage by local content regulation.
Now, this comes after various European countries criticized US over the Inflation Reduction Act, a bill that allocates $369 billion for energy security and climate change. The bill primarily offers huge subsidies and tax credits to companies investing in renewable energy technologies. But there is a condition here, that the products and parts are manufactured in the United States. This includes products such as batteries, solar panels and wind turbines. But European nations fear the US green subsidies will create an unfair competition and encourage their industries to relocate to the US. Earlier this week, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen presented a proposal to try to ensure Europe can compete with the United States as a manufacturing hub for net zero industries and reduce its dependence on China.
Thank you very much. David Carretta.
We have since long argued that the fight against climate change is a must for our planet, a must for our economic prosperity, and a must for our strategic independence. We are competitive. We need competition. What we are looking at is that we have a level playing field in the global competition as well as a level playing field within the single market. This is for us so important.
German Chancellor Olaf Scholz responded to the plan. He called it a step in the right direction. At the joint statement in Berlin, Italian Prime Minister Meloni said that it was very important to find a European answer to strengthen the competitiveness of European companies.
For me, the debate on the Inflation Reduction Act is also an incentive for us Europeans to keep reviewing how we can further improve the conditions for investment here at home. EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has made important proposals in this regard, all of which go in the right direction.
The meet between Meloni and Scholz comes before EU members meet for a summit next week, where leaders are expected to discuss plans to boost state aid and other moves to allow Europe to compete as a hub for electric vehicles and other green products. We were earlier joined by Peter Klepp, Editor-in-Chief and Policy Analyst on EU Brexit at the Brussels Report, who shared further insights with the US on the same. Have a look.
In the 1930s, we have seen how there was tit-for-tat protectionism. One country responding to the tariffs imposed by another country with its own tariffs, and of course, at the end, everybody was worse off. It was an important lesson not to repeat that again. But I think many of those lessons have been forgotten. Policymakers are no longer convinced that this is, such a bad thing, or they do not seem to care, or in the general public, there seems to be insufficient realization that if we go back to the days before globalization, many products will become a lot more expensive. Think, for example, about chips. Chips are a typical example of, the global supply chain. Taiwan is key there. And both China, the United States and Europe, they all try to be, self-sufficient when it comes to chips, semiconductors. But every industry expert will tell you that this is impossible. It's a fundamentally global supply chain. And this is the case for many other products. So these kind of measures, which this time were initiated by the United States, but Europe seems to be responding in a bad way, they will only reduce the benefits of economic globalization.